guys, welcome to Abang Penat channel again. Ya, nadi Abang Penat berada di Kampung Tampines ya, bersama dengan Cikgu Hairil kita of VRYKOLAKAS. Okay guys, kepada yang tak tahu VRYKOLAKAS ni band underground yang telah lama berkecimpung dalam local scene kita di Singapura, Malaysia, Indonesia dan lain-lain lagi. So nari kira bertuah dapat menemu bol dengan Abang Kai. Apa khabar cikgu?
Khabar baik.
Terima kasih kerana take your time hang out dengan saya ni. Boleh cerita sikit tak mengenai a brief history of VRYKOLAKAS?
Kira kalau since kita berbual pasal sejarah kan, VRYKOLAKAS ni mula daripada band Bester Colony.
Okey. Ya, apa year tu?
Itu tahun 89. Umur 15 tahun.
Muda lagi ya, teenagers
tu kita macam bila dapat tahu tentang Naki Meron, Dread, Kursi Faktor dengan Sukas kan, kita pun macam excited lah kan. Jadi niatnya bukan nak tubuhkan band tau. Niat dia nak rekod demo.
Oh, okey. Kan just form band,
cepat-cepat form band, cari studio, apa yang kita boleh rembat kan kita rembat.
Kan tak ada arah masa tu.
Tak ada arah masa tu.
Kan janji dapat lepaskan geram.
Lepas tu bila Bester Colony dah mula, kat Bedok South tu ada lagi satu band.
Dia punya muzik macam mana
dia memang apa ni, tak ada arah lah.
Tak ada arah.
Kita gunakan label death metal, death noise, death thrash, padahal it's just
noise
noise saja lah. Kalau boleh faham, boleh terima tu bagus lah. Tapi bila kita dengar balik memang tak sedap langsung lah. Tapi memang semangat tu adalah. Jadi kita dengan tak malunya kita sebarkan lagu.
Kan you post your demo to Zain,
entah Zain Malaysia, Zain Singapore. Ada boleh terima lah. Ni kira underground, ni kira apa orang kata
accept lah,
raw dan sebagainya lah. Kita pun ikut lah the flow kan. Orang tanya interview, kita jawab interview. Lepas tu kat Bedok South ada lagi satu band, Demoniac. Jadi bila
ini semua apa? Members apa? Around there?
Demoniac kita sebenarnya tak pernah jumpa. Kita baca dalam Zang kan, ada band Demoniac kat Bedok South. Kita Chai Chi, Bedok North punya area tu. Then Bester Colony-nya gitaris tinggal Bedok South. So tapi tak pernah jumpa lah, walaupun negeri kecil tapi kita jarang jumpa lah. You understand lah dulu tulis surat je. Lepas tu Bester Colony inilah, memang kita tak ada niat nak masa tu lah.
Kan tak ada fikir jauh lah.
Tak fikir jauh, tak serius. Jadi bila kita dah belajar pasal band-band Malaysia dan negeri lain, tengok wah dia orang serius lah. So bila kita nak jadi serius tu, band-band members dalam Bester Colony tu dah mula inilah macam hilang minat lah. Pasal metal ni
kan macam during that time it's a trend to listen to metal.
Dia trend pun trend, tapi macam susah nak maintain the stamina lah. Pasal banyak band metal, lepas tu dah mula ada gig, nak pergi gig, nak collect tape, nak collect apa-apa ni semua memang kena ada passion lah.
Yalah, lagi masa tu masih sekolah
masih sekolah. Jadi bila band members lain dah mula hilang minat tu, tergeraklah hati nak buat band baru. Jadi orang yang bertanggungjawab ni sebenarnya yang tolong tubuhkan VRYKOLAKAS ni ialah Encik Zul Icon. Zul Hypnos, Zul Paiti, Zul Ambra. Masa tu kita rapat lah dengan Zul sebab dia buat Zain Pandemonium. So I ask him lah, I need to form another band lah. Bester Colony dah tak serius.
Don't consider you alone lah
masa tu inilah
you alone lah.
At that time I told him I want to form a project band lah. Pasal Bester Colony dah orang kata stagnant. Dia pula
kan nama pun macam tak boleh pergi jauh lah. Tumai ni lah Bester Colony kan.
Dulu bangga nama Bester Colony. Pasal macam style kan, Bestial Colony, jarang orang pakai kan Colony. Lepas tu Influence pakai nama Colony kan. Bangga sekejap. So bila jumpa Zul pun masa tu memang agaknya nasib lah. Dia kata ada satu budak pun nak buat project band. And so happen to be Syafi'i from Demoniac lah. So kita jumpa lah macam matchmaking gitu kan, kat bawah blok rumah Zul kat Yunus.
So Zul yang
introduce. And then Syafi'i pula dah ada satu lagu. So just nice lah kita jumpa. I listen to his song, cepat-cepat pergi jamming, try out. Dia tarik gitaris dia, so we started as a 3-piece. Then after a while again the guitarist hilang minat lah. So we continue as a 2-piece lah.
2-piece. So the demo yang keluar tu?
So that demo was recorded just after 4 months of jamming. Dalam tu 4 bulan ada 3 lagu. Then memang semangat nak kena release demo lah. Kan?
Masa tu kan masih kan nak get involved in metal scene
pasal
so untuk release
zaman dulu untuk band there's no other aim you either want to release a demo or the second demo. Masa tu kita belum orang kata belum faham konsep album.
Belum matang lah kan, masa tu belum matang lagi masih beginning
memang tak fikir benda lain lah. So macam album is very rare lah untuk band yang baru-baru start macam kita. Singapore pun kira a young scene, never think about album. And then gigs pun very rare, so we never think about playing gigs lah. So almost all Singapore bands kalau dorang jawab interview kan, have you played any gigs? Oh, never. Then so kita punya the only thing we can do back then is to record lah. Ada band ada dengan cepat 2 demo 3 demo. So kita nak record demo lah.
So that demo you manage to give to fanzine to do
kita try jual. And then we give to fanzine. Then interestingly zaman tu kita ada this macam elitist mentality.
Betul. True.
If you remember certain bands
Yes, correct. Not to be
not to be sold in Singapore.
Correct. Itu yang bingit lah baca. That's why I also don't like
kita pun inilah
kita nak support lokal tapi don't buat macam ni.
Masa tu memang the concept of supporting local tu is not spoken understanding Memang ada orang support local. For me, I will buy local demos, but I don't say I support local lah. That statement is not so common. Tapi ada juga niat di hati.
You get trading from overseas to get our local band demo. Itu yang asal I have to go through ada country punya.
Tapi it's okay because it tells us macam
the demo go pergi jauh lah.
Or you cannot run away lah. You don't sell in Singapore, I somehow can get it from my tape trading friends so that's why that network, the community, underground community very strong lah. You can say you don't want to sell in Singapore, but it will get back to you somehow lah. So that's the interesting thing lah. So kita inilah we mainly give to zines, tape trade dengan other bands. So what we didn't know back then, the name actually move lah. I think is the scene lah. As long as you send somewhere your band name or your zine name people will remember lah. Pasal belum banyak kan.
Betul.
Kononnya macam first wave lah.
So during that time your demo I listen back I think it's more to dark music, medieval and more to black metal nya style lah. So after years goes by then I dengar balik ni VRYKOLAKAS is totally different lah. It's more to brutal black metal, more to American style lah. Is it because Andy masuk it suits him with this kind of music?
Actually I can't think of a better word lah, but I mean to be honest since this is a no holds barred interview, to be honest is a trend lah. So we don't say we follow the trend, but bila kita when we were recording or writing the demo 1992, the main bands that really dominate during that time, Blasphemy, Impure Nazarene, Samayan, but they don't sound black metal lah kan. Their version of black metal sounds like a death metal band lah. So and then at the same time we listen to Napalm Death lah, Grave lah, so campur aduk lah. Tapi we needed something to make us feel kononnya proud lah. So wah, black metal common, death metal common. Okay lah, we come up with a term brutal black death. Macam betul.
Okay lah, something new.
Brutal black death kat flyers, brutal black death. Sudahlah, brutal ke apa. Dengar balik macam Celtic Frost. That's it. Okay lah, but that
proud juga lah.
I mean, with 2 person, with our limited capabilities, I think we are quite proud of it lah. Then because people also recognize, although macam actually honestly lah, the local scene back during that time have already moved on lah. So they have heard many bands overseas. So band-band macam kita kira quality rendah lah. So nobody really wanted to
take seriously.
Take us seriously. But surprisingly overseas, diorang macam appreciate no matter how.
Why always overseas yang appreciate our local kan ya?
I think
local macam
mainly because we sound different lah. To them lah, to them we sound different.
Kita sound more raw lah.
They like it. So who are we to say you shouldn't like us like that lah. We appreciate lah kan. Yeah. So the change mainly because again when we had this brief period of inactivity lah. Masa tu Syafiq dah apa orang kata not very involved because I think he also start to change his pace of life lah. So I think.
So you mean during the mid of 90s lah?
So I was left alone. And then
left alone ya, sedih.
Sedih kan? macam nak kena tulis balada.
Itu lah.
Then nak cari line up pun susah because you also affected or influenced by the people you mix around with So and the name VRYKOLAKAS is not taken seriously at that point of time kan. So nak cari line up yang susah. Then eventually found out my own cousin Iman also playing metal, play guitar. Okay lah. Since cousin, then don't waste time lah.
Lagi senang lah. Correct. Lagi senang nak communicate
let's reform the band. And then I started playing guitars. And the reason I play guitar at that point of time, what really interests me was the brutal death ni lah. So Suffocation, lepas Suffocation ada bands like Deeds of Flesh, Cryptopsy,
all that kind of music.
Incantation was at their most brutal punya ini.
Then with Andy-nya voice
so
just nice lah.
Because of that kind of music, we need somebody with a very brutal voice So I think in terms of the lowness the down tune voice, Andy is the lowest
memang dasar
beruang macam beruang baru bangun tidur kan.
Memang dasar dia.
So Iman put him. Then Iman also convinced Zainal to help us Then Zainal grindcore background. So just nice can grind, can blast Then let's do it lah. So it was brutal death metal. Again, if you listen, it's not really brutal death lah. Basically it's like still macam Grave, main laju je lah, just maybe a bit faster. But okay lah, at that point of time brutal death not so popular yet lah. So it's more of a macam orang terkejut, band ni brutalnya, down tune, main Grave. So it's more of that impact lah, not so much of us being so brutal So
I saw VRYKOLAKAS perform twice Sekali tu yang dekat East Coast
Kostasen.
And one opening for Grave. And I realised you guys selalu main tak ada bass. Why?
Actually
why two guitar, no bass?
Okay, again because I play guitar, Iman play guitar, we don't have a bassist. And we realised
dari dulu lah tu bassist.
Memang but the demo there was a bass line
demo mesti kena ada. I mean the live.
No, when we started recording again 99, that first song ada main bass.
Okay.
Then after that no bass already. So the MCD, the VRYKOLAKAS 2000 kan, we didn't record bass. Two guitars. And then the subsequent recording, there was this split CD, Supreme Brutal Legion. We did 3 guitars. Every guitar play different thing. Tu chaos Cannot hear anything other than Andy's voice But I mean at that point of time kononnya experimenting lah.
Okay.
So why we don't have a bass? Malas nak cari lah macam
you can play with this.
But macam I prefer to play the guitar because the idea at that point of time was Iman play his lines, I play my line. So if you were to observe the two guitarists, it looks like we are playing different things lah. That was our idea lah, macam wah technical lah ni band, dia ni main lain, dia tu main lain, apa saja lah kan. Memang orang komen lah, this band asal tak ada bass but because our sound was low, so we thought at that point of time we don't need the bass line lah. Then after our first album pun tak ada bass, then dengar macam kering lah. I didn't honestly, because I was so into the guitar, I don't notice
the sound, the sound.
I don't notice. I also don't appreciate the value of the bass. Then bila kita start, okay, let's have a bass line. Then you realize, it can really, bring the song to a lower level lah, kan. Endingnya suara low, bass low, down tune,
tu lagi bampak lah kan.
Lagi low lah kira.
Sampai sekarang still no bassist lah.
So I will record the bass lines lah.
I mean if you play live lah, let's say.
Kalau let's say we play live again, I think it will be, maybe we will consider a bassist lah.
To make it complete lah.
Because nowadays I think the metal listeners, they have a higher expectation. So I think they want to see all the different dimension of the band lah. I think nowadays kalau kita kata we don't believe in bass anymore, I think not relevant lah. Because we also recorded bass lines in our new recordings, and then I try to kononnya write bass lines yang compliment lah. I don't just follow guitar lah. Then it will be a waste if the audience cannot get to hear that lah if we play live lah kita belum tahu lah
the future mana tahu kan. Okey lah, ni album VRYKOLAKAS nombor 4
ni nombor 4.
Okey, nombor 4 what can you say about this album?
Actually
why you release in cassette kan sekarang?
Because it really depends on the label lah. So the Gate Records from America, they decided to do in cassette.
Okay.
But we are still looking for a label to do on CD, hopefully on vinyl lah.
Okay, itu lagi baik
So actually the songs on this album are old songs.
Okay.
So the trivia is when we released the demo 1992, Osmos Productions wrote to us. They want to
Osmos
Osmos. Pattern tu Osmos baru start lah. So they were the ones writing to bands. So tak ingat lah kita balas ke tak kan. So nothing happened. Then there was a Colombian label, War Master, the Colombian Massacre. The vocalist run a label, War Master.
Then
so
contact you.
Wanted to release our album. Kita baru 16 tahun. I told my guitarist, kau ada duit ke nak record album?
So you mean all this while you record semua pakai duit sendiri lah?
Memang inilah self finance lah. So we also don't understand the concept of label covering our recording cost lah. At that point of time kan, memang tak tahulah kan.
You record on your money, you boleh release in different label lah. Let's say macam cassette different label, CD different label, vinyl different label.
So memang kita
you want that freedom lah kan?
It's not just freedom lah. Memang kita we will always look for label to do in different formats, different version, mainly to cover their continent lah. Sebab we also cannot expect, let's say a label in Europe to cover the whole world unless they have their reach lah. So that's another reason why we also don't want to release ourselves, because other labels will usually have their further reach lah.
Bila dia punya release ni?
This one was just last month, 12 April.
Okay, 12 April. So coming months or maybe future ada release in CD?
Still working on it lah. So I think currently a lot of labels, there's a lot of bands lah. So labelnya roster are usually very full lah. Ada sound effect lah.
Rasa lah.
Dahsyat tu. Siapa dah pijak pedal Okay, so this album consists of old songs.
Okay,
so
old
we re-recorded the demo 92, and then there are 4 songs that we have written and rehearsed with Shafi'i, and then after that with Iman. Tapi we didn't get to record lah.
Okay.
So
you release it? Yeah, lah.
So whatever I remember from those 4 songs, I put it into this so-called version, and then we record it as an album lah. We didn't intend to release this so soon actually. It was more of a question if Vryko were to release an album in 1992, what will it be like lah?
Okay. So this is the result if you release.
So I told Andy and Eddie there are these songs. I mean Eddie don't play that kind of death metal lah. So this like a bit black death. So I told Eddie, give it a try lah.
So with this album recording, do you achieve what you want to sound like? What VRYKOLAKAS back then?
I guess
compared to this album, this album more bersih kata orang, more clean the sound.
Yeah. It also depends on the studio lah.
Okay.
So when we record this album at Studio 47.
Yang ni?
Yang ini TNT.
Okay.
So we use the same approach lah. Once we lay down all the tracks, semua dah record, we just tell the engineer, okay, just make it crushing. So we don't even sit down with the engineer and okay, I want this, I want that. Okay, we just say basically we just want the sound to be crushing. So this is the what do you call it? The maybe the concept, the vision of the engineers lah.
Okay. So that's why you go back to TNT to get that kind of
because
sound.
But for the past I think 2-3 recordings we did with TNT. I leave it to our boy to mix for us.
Okay.
So when I say
this album,
sama lah. So we told Nizam,
this Studio 47.
Studio 47.
Okay.
So we told Nizam, okay Nizam, you have played for Impaiety, you know death metal, okay, just give me something crushing. Then he will send ni lah, whatever he has worked on. Then we listen. Then we just ask him to touch up here, touch up there.
Okay. Senang lah.
I mean, we also don't want to, how to say to really spend time on trying to get that dream sound. So if the engineers can do it, and
why not
Yeah.
You also pun tak ada masa
So I think what's good is the engineer get to have a orang kata, to have a hand in it lah. This is what he thinks is crushing for VRYKOLAKAS. Okay, we appreciate that idea lah. Let's do it. Let's take it.
So I see banyak good review for this album. What do you think?
I think maybe because it's in a way old school death metal, but it's not old school because we use HM2 lah. This album we didn't use the heavy metal HM2 sound. It's the riffs lah. I think the riffs maybe nostalgic lah. So
more to old school touch.
Yeah, there's a lot of immolation, grave, incantation, dissect, Moby Angel. So anyway, for us, we don't seek originality lah. So if somebody
you want to play what you want lah.
If somebody comes to us and say, hey, you all carbon copy of Grave, okay, thanks man, that's a very good review. we really want to sound like Grave. Oh no, you all sound like Cannibal. Okay man, we really want to sound like Cannibal Corpse.
So tak kisah apa
so it's like a tribute lah. We like that band. So if you tell me I sound like the bands I like, of course man, I accept that anytime man. So it's really about when we wrote the album, okay, this song we want to sound like, let's say we have the second song Kafara kan. Okay, this one I want to be like Moby Angel lah. So you will find it similar to Unholy Blasphemies, that kind of sound lah. So for me, I'm happy lah. If people come to me, sudah lah Vryko carbon copy of Moby Angel. Okay man,
whatever you say
I feel happy lah. You can use the word carbon copy lah, I don't mind.
So So kenapa release ada dua version, one the blue color and one this orange version?
Okay, so the blue color is the European version.
Okay.
So what we see is that the label Dark Blasphemies, they mainly cover Europe lah.
Oh, okay.
And then because of COVID-19, I don't think they will be able to reach to America lah. So it's mainly because of COVID-19. I thought it will be more effective and safer kalau ada label within the continent to do it. So there's a tape version, Evil Damnation Records from Argentina. They released tape version.
Okay, tape version.
Then also the European label, they don't like the tahlil in the last song.
Oh, okay. Oh, last song ada tahlil
So to him like ni death metal sekali ada suara bersih kan. Suara pakcik-pakcik baca tahlil kan. But the tahlil was important for us because the song is about burial. Okay. So usually Muslim punya tradition after a burial there's tahlil kan. So
mana rekod ni tahlil ke?
Kita inilah kita juga baca je lah. Minta-minta dia punya sebutan betul lah kan. So with the tahlil it sounded very haunting creepy macam bulu roma berdiri
You want to have that atmosphere, that feeling
Yeah, without using keyboards, we have that tahlil, that chanting it's like bulu roma berdiri kat studio.
That's why you have to get another version of this.
So since the label said okay, we don't want the tahlil, then we start looking for other labels then we ask Sedis you mind because Sedis the label manager is a Hindu lah. So we just ask you mind we have such things in our song. No problem so we did the Asian version.
Release in vinyl lah.
Actually okay, this one we have not announced the news lah. But in a few months time, because the album has been sent to the pressing plant, so there will be a label from Greece which will release this on vinyl.
Dah how many years VRYKOLAKAS again?
How many years apa?
Ni dah berapa lama VRYKOLAKAS?
Since 91 so this is our 31st year. So this is to commemorate our 30th anniversary last year. Yeah, so hopefully by the end of this year lah, the vinyl version.
Tak ada nak plan nak buat box set ke release?
I think okay, we will need the planning lah. So we'll see how it goes. Memang idea tu banyak kan. Tapi
ya, tapi itulah.
Tapi kadang-kadang things don't happen. We have many plans lah. So sometimes things just don't happen lah. So we have to see how it goes. Just like as I mentioned, this wasn't part of the plan. Ni kira macam kalau anak kan. This is not supposed to be born. Yeah, but we decided to go ahead because the songs are ready. I don't want to forget. I still remember the songs after thinking so much, right? Whatever I can remember. Okay, guys, let's do these 7 songs. Then TNT is near my workplace. So just call Aboy, I need 3 hours. Okay, do left guitar, do right guitar, whatever lah.
So after this album ada lagi lagu baru tak?
So we are now mixing 4 songs. New songs that will appear in a split CD with Nuclear Christ. So Andy is running VRYKOLAKAS lah. So VRYKOLAKAS will release the CD.
Then you, I see ada Kai VRYKOLAKAS apa vinyl.
VRYKO vinyl, yeah. So
tak sama lah.
It's a different label.
Different lah. Then you more to vinyl lah.
Yeah. So I want to concentrate on vinyl because I like the idea of having Singapore bands on vinyl lah. So if I can get a bigger label to release Singapore bands,
why inspire you nak release vinyl?
Actually it thanks to I would say thanks to the Argentinian label lah, the Zoo Records, because he's really into Singapore bands. So suddenly he said he's releasing Euronymous right on vinyl. Then he released Libation on vinyl. Yeah, I thought
recently banyak all this old band released in vinyl.
Yeah, because I think overseas people appreciate our old scene. So I think the name has not spread so far other than Abhorror and Piety. So I think those labels they want to resurface the bands. So I thought why must we why must a foreign label do this for our own bands?
Our guys do
So I mean, if I can do my part to put local metal music on vinyl,
why not?
If I can afford to do as much as I can, I will do it lah. Because it's, I think you because you also have, right, some of those vinyls, it's like more satisfying.
Yeah, correct. Buying
besar,
correct. Then you buy local, old local band, you see the vinyl, tengok macam syok lah. Because last time kita beli the demo tak dapat ada gambar semua. Sekarang lambat gambar diorang. Jadi nampak juga muka diorang. Padahal tak nampak.
So it's more satisfying.
Exactly.
And I like the fact that a lot of black metal bands, Singapore black metal bands, they will definitely get a label that can release their music on vinyl. But then at that point of time, grindcore band macam Dimysore, they have a lot of vinyl releases. So when we look at our death metal bands, there's a lot of good bands. Nafrat, Silent, Cardiac Necropsy, another old band. So if I can put their music on vinyl,
why not?
Based on what I can afford, I want to do it lah. I mean, it's for the next generation to appreciate lah. The only problem right now is the pressing plants cannot produce as fast as we want them to lah. But I'm very sure they will clear their backlog within the next 2-3 years. Yeah. So I've started to approach labels lah. Like if this label release on vinyl, then I will approach them lah. I ask, can we collaborate lah? I want to put this album, is an old album, released 10 years ago. I think it deserves a vinyl treatment lah. So why not we do it lah? So I thought approaching, you may not get it all the time, right? So I start my own, slowly release one by one. Then hopefully within the next few months, there will be a release soon lah. A band from Yishun. I think that time they were the most brutal death metal band in 1991. Yishun band.
I also from Yishun.
The Legacy of Lee Kwong Seng.
Correct. Mana-mana semua pergi sana
semua pergi sana. Sound great. So we'll see how it goes lah. Sometimes like I said lah, we plan so much but things may not happen.
True.
But then we'll just try our best lah.
Cikgu, random question lah. Sekarang ni kalau let's say we come across band-band lama nanti orang cakap, ni band dah lama, legend. That word legend how you define a band is a legend?
I think it is up to the individual lah. I think if I were to use the term legend, it will refer to bands that I have never met before. I've heard their music, I like their music is good, tapi tak pernah jumpa because they just don't bother to appear in public, and then
macam like you say just now not to be distributed in Singapore.
But that one different lah. I think that one at that point of time it's a mindset lah, elitist mindset lah. But eventually they also don't mind their music being accessible right now kan. So my definition of legend will be a band that I like their music, I read their interviews, I like their attitude, but I just cannot see them lah. They exist but I just don't bump into them. So therefore the term legendary susah nak jumpa. Tak nampak.
Ada dah mati.
Ada ke tak ni? Ada real or not? That's legend lah. But I think the most common definition of legend is maybe a veteran band, a band that has existed for many years,
30-40 years,
or their name still spread even after 30-40 years. So like
still active, is it?
Yeah, so like Singapore's context, if you let's say mention horror lah, Nakti Meron or Stuka, that first wave, I think people, that's a legendary band. Because although they exist 30 years ago, but people still remember, people still look up to them lah.
Some of them also tak pernah jumpa diorang
so memang macam I've never met Stukas lah. So if you say the words tukas. Until only recently lah, I think Abang Leman is now on Facebook, right? So before that, nak jumpa susah, honestly, because I want to buy the demo. Then dulu susah kan nak beli.
That CD
The demo that time they already had 3 demos by the time I found out about them. Then I find out my schoolmate knows the drummer. I go to this schoolmate, I want to buy Stukas demo. You go and see the drummer, Sunny. Who the hell is Sunny, man? I don't even know Sunny, how to get the demo. You go to Sunny, So you hear the name, and then after a while you manage to borrow the demo from someone. And then you know they exist, but you've never seen them, and the music is cool. Okay, so to me that's legendary, kan? Sponsored by Abang Penat.
Dah minum dulu.
Terima kasih.
Malam. Metallica ke Megadeth?
Okay, honestly for me, I've only listened to Metallica. At that point of time, I didn't listen to Megadeth at all. Then I don't after Metallica, I discovered all the faster bands, all the more brutal bands. So I didn't even like have time to discover Megadeth. Really, honestly speaking,
tak
pernah dengar terus. Only until maybe like 5-10 years ago, because of YouTube. So they are on YouTube lah. Try to check them out lah. But I would prefer Metallica lah.
You start with Metallica.
I don't know why I prefer Metallica punya. I think they are heavier lah.
Top 3 Malay album.
Malay as in Malay rock lah.
Anything lah. Rock boleh.
I always prefer ni Rusty Blade lah. So Rintangan Hidup Dunia, Berat is the ultimate.
The first album first top 3.
Top 3 lah. I always go back to Rusty Blade lah, because they have a balance of heaviness, and then they can write nice ballads lah. And the ballads bukan merengeknya ballad, like Don't Leave Me. The ballads are meaningful lah. Macam it's about love, but it's like, okay, we play our part as man and woman lah. Not like crying, don't leave me lah, I give you flowers.
Second band, top 3.
Top 3 okay. Actually I like Search. Search, to me they are like the loudness of Malaysia. Maybe the sound production that time not as good as loudness lah. But I think even with the whatever production limitation they have, they really sound progressive as a Malay rock band.
The early days
Then maybe the third band I will go for May. Musnya suara dahsyat. Again, May reminds me of Rusty Blade lah. Not the what do you call it? They give you a sense of strength and power. Although it's rock and ballad kan, macam I want to be a mak rock. Not the cinta mintanya mak rock, but mak rock fierce-nya konon with denim jacket kan.
Okay. So VRYKOLAKAS in the future how?
Okay, I mean the near future.
Yes, the near future.
I haven't stopped writing songs lah. So we are all reaching 50s. So our main plan is to record as many songs, as many albums as we can. Whether we release them as fast or not, it doesn't matter lah.
As long you record it lah.
Record. Maybe ada 3-4 album ke. Lepas tu dah tak boleh main kan, semua dah kejong. Then ada label nak release. Then we start ni lah, looking for labels to release lah. Otherwise Andy can release also. Then maybe Vryko Vinyl also can think of something lah. But now that to me lah, for me as a guitarist and for Eddie as a drummer, selagi boleh rembat dulu lah. Kalau tidak macam nak take a break ke apa, okay, 3 years later then we write and record another album. Sekali tangan dah kejung. So now that we have the ability, just Ada Chan record, ada Chan record. Release belakang kira.
Okay, cikgu. Anything to end the interview?
So thank you very much for doing this. I think in terms of local metal music, this is very rare. I mean, I want to take opportunity to mention people like Carl, what was the name of the program?
Killing Time with Carl.
Killing Time with Carl. I think it's a good idea. So Carl, you must continue talk about local metal or even overseas metal. Then not forgetting Arif Iron Fist.
Okay.
He also has like a channel I think YouTube channel.
Okay.
He did what is the title of that show where he will play local music. Yeah, he will promote local music
Okay.
So Carl and Arif, if you see this, please don't stop please continue what you have started.
Yes, correct.
Then hopefully we can support Abang Penat. So hopefully Abang Penat don't get penat so soon. Yeah.
So far so good Alhamdulillah.
So I think these are good efforts to continue the local metal scene So if you can support, I think it will be good for the next generation
Cerita-cerita lama ke
Ni kira part of Singapore history also metal music, right? Part of Singapore arts
Ya, Carl, terima kasih Ni ada sikit token dari Abang Penat
Ni dia
kostum
patches Star Wars
Star Wars juga, our local scene Kostum patch, yes.
Cool.
Okay lah guys, terima kasih lah kerana masih menonton Abang Penat channel. Thank you for watching. Okay lah, to end this episode Abang Penat yang ucapkan selamat Hari Raya Mahu Zahir Batin kepada anda yang menonton. Terima kasih. Dari itu salam mufti dari Abang Penat. Peace be upon you guys.
Selamat Hari Raya dan selamat metal.
Manchester ke Liverpool?
I've been supporting Manchester United You are referring to Manchester United,
of course,
right?
Manchester United.
But I think it's good that Liverpool is okay, I won't say dominating but for the past 3 years they are doing well because I think these two clubs have the rivalry. So if Liverpool don't do well, I think Man United can't be bothered. So one of them have to dominate for a while, then the other will get jealous, get annoyed. Okay, let's beat these other
take turn.
Yeah, but the rivalry is important